คุณทุกๆคนจริงๆขอบคุณมากค่ะ
Pass is all about the best man now.
Okay. Thank you, Steve. Turns out I'm the only one who's been asked to do a speech tonight. Just found out tonight. No pressure at all. Thanks, man. Anyway, before I start, the hotel manager actually came up to me and spoke to me for the concern of everyone's health and safety. Please do not stand on the tables and chairs for my standing ovation at the end. Okay? I don't want anyone getting hurt. It's going to get out of me. So let me start by introducing myself. My name's Corin Maloney. I'm Steve's best man. 2 months ago, when we were enjoying a cocktail at Colour Sundays, Steve came up to me and asked me to be his best man. And I knew he'd made the right choice. The funny thing was that I never actually received a wedding invitation. So I was feeling a little bit bad tonight. I just hope that I'm not eating the food that's meant for someone else. Might have brought my girlfriend along as well, so that's 2 people. But thanks, Steve. So unlike many of the best men you've probably encountered who have known the best man since they were children or since they went through school, Steve and I actually met around 4 years ago at Touchwood, where we were working. I still remember the first day that I met Steve. I walked into the office. I was a little bit nervous because it was my first big job in a big company. Steve was my manager, so I didn't really know how the whole manager-employee relationship would work out. I walked into his office and he started talking. Hey man, how you doing? The first thing I thought was, how the hell am I going to understand this guy? The second thing was, Steve was typing at his computer at the time, and I don't know if you've seen his pinky finger. Can you please hold your finger up there? When Steve types, he has a dislocated pinky, and he was sitting at his computer typing away, and his pinky was flapping around like that. And I didn't know whether to say something like, hey man, do you know what's going on with your pinky? Or not, and I left it for about 2 weeks until we got to know each other a bit, and then I mentioned it, I'm like, man, your pinky's really freaking me out. So that's how I first got to know Steve. Those are the first 2 memories I have of him. Now, Steve specifically asked me to refrain from mentioning any past girlfriends or anything like that. So, sadly that cut my speech by a good 10 minutes. But he's the man of the day, and I respect his decision, so I'm not going to go there. We've had some good times together, mate. If anyone who knows Steve too well knows he likes to have a little bit of a joke and a little bit of a carry around. And since I was young and he was my manager, he would never take advantage of a situation like that and play any practical jokes on me, which of course he did. I've actually listed a few of them here. He's got a real talent for this. He can get you in a situation where, you think he's being really serious, but, the whole thing is actually staged, and he does it in such a clever way. And everyone's who's close to Steve has been a bit of a victim to his wind-ups. Let me just tell you some of the things that he's made me think about himself and some of the pranks that he's done on me. At one stage, I thought Steve was a white-collar boxer. That lasted for about 6 months. We used to go out to the clubs together, and if I saw any big people out there, I would be like, I don't give a shit about this guy, my friend's a boxer. One time we actually almost got into a fight, and then it got pretty serious, and I was like, hey man, come on, this guy's messing with me. He's like, dude, I'm not a boxer. I was joking. So I almost got my head kicked in one time for Steve. The other time was when Steve pretended to be a girl and was fake texting me, and I thought that I was picking up this beautiful girl. I started getting these text messages from this unknown number like, hey baby, you look so good tonight. And I was like, yeah, I did look good. And I was replying back to them. Anyway, he went as far as setting me up by going to meet this girl somewhere. I was sitting there out in the cold waiting, sitting there for about 10 minutes, and then I just hear this laughing sound, and I turn around, and I was like, oh, hey, Steve's here, and I still didn't click. And then I looked up, and he was filming me, sitting there, and he'd done a prank on me. Steve was the girl, no one came. And then, just to top it off, he went and showed the video to all my friends. Thanks, mate. Some of the other things he's tricked me about was other people in the office getting raises for putting in the hard work, and and I wasn't part of that. The other thing he tricked me about was that Newcastle was a good football team to follow.
Hey!
But on a more serious note, Steve and I have been best friends. He's been my best friend since I moved to Thailand. And I can honestly say my life here would definitely not be the same without Steve. He's been a mentor to me. He's really taken me in and showed me how the whole process goes at work. He's really helped me as well when I went and branched out on my own. So I really look up to him. He's a great leader. He's a loyal friend, and I know he'll be a friend for life. As a best man, I'm supposed to offer some insight into the married life and what it's been like, but me, I haven't experienced that myself. So I can only go by the experiences I've had with Steve as a friend. And I can say that if Steve is putting in half the effort as he has with his friendship, Tida, you and Steve are going to have a very long, beautiful, and wonderful marriage. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to raise a toast to Steve and Tida for a long and prosperous marriage. Thank you very much, everyone.
Steve and Tida. Steve and Tida.
Thank you.
Don't cry.
Good speech, that.
Don't cry.
That was a good speech. Don't be silly, not crying.
And feel free to bust the move now. The music's going to be cranky.
It's here.
We got Marcus in the house.